get a selfie stick.
That's what I really do need to invest in, honestly. I just got a tripod, but I haven't it's got a screw in it to where I can't actually attach anything to it. You know what I mean? Like you have to get like a special attachment just for that.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. This is going to be the first installment of Sweet Strength right here. So what this is going to be is a little bit of an interview series where we're going to be speaking with amazing people like Jory right here, who have a good story, who, number one, they're athletes. They embody fitness, they embody improving themselves day in, day out, whether it be physically or mentally or spiritually, as well as they have a sense of humbleness, humility, and they give back to other people as well. It's not just all about, improving yourself here. It's about building the world up. You know what I mean? So before I speak a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm a student at Oregon State University, where we are right now.
Yep. What building is this?
Link
Building. If you want to come here to this historic site.
Learning Innovation Center.
That's genius. That's genius.
Yeah. At first I was like, where's the N coming from? But it's innovation.
That's cheating.
I know. It should be lick. Right?
Yeah, but that might be weird.
It would be weird. Yeah, so I'm finishing my degree in kinesiology, which is exercise science. And then I'm going to start my master's in the summer in adaptive physical education, so I want to teach PE. And that's about it.
Ah, very, very cool.
Yeah.
What makes you want to teach high school PE?
I think because I hated PE when I was in high school, so yeah.
So kind of not rooting that experience for other people who might be in your own shoes.
Yeah, I hated PE. So.
Very, very cool, very cool. Let's actually, I want to talk about the books that we'd mentioned earlier, but let's talk a little bit, actually, you hated PE. So how old are you? In high school, okay.
High
so
school.
like probably 14 to 18.
14 to 18.
Okay, so let's round that down in the middle of it.
Okay.
To 16 years old.
16.
What was 16-year-old Joy like? Let's get a little perspective of why you want to help out other people in a similar situation like yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly interested in helping young women. We probably know this. Mostly because when I was 16, I felt like really insecure. I hated kind of my body. I felt like everyone was giving me all these different kinds of messages, like what I should look like, who I should be. So yeah, it's a very hard time.
Did you not feel in control of your own confidence, or?
Yeah, I would say so.
Do you say that's as a guy, my biggest thing was I was always concerned with getting bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that skinny dude. I remember I was also self-conscious of my legs. When you sit down and your thighs squish out like that.
Yeah.
I've always had the same size thighs. Even imagine these on a 12-year-old. So I'd squish down and I'd be like, what's going on here? I kind of sit on my tippy toes.
It's the opposite for girls. Everyone is telling us to be smaller and thinner, not talk, not have opinions. So that's how I felt when I was 16.
And how do you feel now compared to then? What's changed in your mindset?
Well, I would definitely attribute it to working out. So when I learned how to lift, I felt more empowered and confident. And I started appreciating my body for what it could do rather than what it could look like. And then eventually when the more I started weightlifting, my body started looking more how I wanted it to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When did you first start, let's say, exercising consistently, and then second part of that, actually weightlifting?
I had a gym membership in high school, and I did a couple sports. I did cheerleading and the swim team, but I didn't really feel comfortable going to the gym. I wasn't comfortable knowing things to do there. I felt like people were staring at me and I looked really dumb. And then I started CrossFit after I graduated high school in 2013, and that's when I started getting more comfortable. I learned how to squat and deadlift, clean and snatch, and use kettlebells and all this cool shit.
And that's built a love for you, has it not?
Yeah.
You're in Olympic lifting right now?
Yes. Yeah.
So everyone always shits on CrossFit, and I personally have never done it, so I can't really form an opinion on it. What would you say drew you specifically to CrossFit rather than you mentioned previously when we talked you wanted to do a bodybuilding show at one point. What drew you to CrossFit over staying with bodybuilding?
Well, I actually transitioned from CrossFit to bodybuilding. and then back to CrossFit. Yeah, so I started CrossFit because my mom and her boyfriend at the time were going to the gym, and they're like, let's go do a workout. And I'm like, okay. And then after the first day, I was like super frustrated because I couldn't jump rope and I like couldn't swing a kettlebell, and I was pissed off. Can I say that word?
No, you can. You can totally say that.
But I like really enjoyed the challenge of like doing something different every day, and someone is telling me what to do, so I don't have to like go into the gym and think like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So that's why I liked CrossFit.
I can. Two things on that. Number one, I totally understand the jump rope getting pissed. Right now, I have this rule where I only actually jump rope if I have a punching bag nearby.
Really?
Because I get absolutely like very, very upset. Like, and it's not even like I'll beat the crap out of the punching bag the entire time during the set. It's like I may like throw one punch in there, but
jumping rope is frustrating.
it's very, very frustrating. Like
Yeah.
it's mental, it's physical. Like,
You have to keep your feet like
have you ever thrown
together.
in the crosses? Like the-
Yeah.
It took me like probably 100 tries to get that the first time, and when I did, I just like threw that on the ground and was so happy.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. I totally understand that being guided through it though. That's something where, as a fitness coach, you know, I have to help out a lot of people, and that's kind of my job, is to be almost like that voice guiding through their workout. But I've never had that in my own personal workouts, but in yoga, I
that's cool.
absolutely hate doing yoga like by myself.
I can't do it by myself.
It's different. You don't have the guide, you know what I mean? Similar to what you're saying with CrossFit, how you had like a structure there, you had a system. It's like their voice flows you through the entire workout.
I
And
need the instruction with yoga for sure.
I took off my glasses right here because like that's what I do in yoga. Like even when I said it, it's like,
Just like-
it felt natural because like I like to be
Yoga.
blind. I like to be like, you know, like vulnerable
Are you
almost.
blind?
I'm totally blind,
I
like
am too.
extremely blind. Like your entire face is blurry right now. This is just
Put those
for
back on.
comfortability. I will.
Do you wear contacts?
I do.
Okay.
I just
yeah,
got
do
new
too.
glasses too, like rimless, everything. Really cool. I'm excited for those.
I just ordered some too.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So going into, let's go to the books a little bit. So you'd mentioned 3 different books, and I think maybe eye contact might be cool with that. I'm not too sure. We've never done these, so, you know, we're going to try to look at this a
It
little
might
bit.
be
But
kind
we
of
also,
weird if I.
yeah, because you got to combine natural eye contact, but like,
I don't want to. Okay.
it's okay.
We'll
No
think
worries.
about
No
it.
worries. We'll work on it, you know. So you talked about Turtles All the Way Down.
Yes.
Why don't you let them know a little bit about
So
what that is?
Turtles All the Way Down is a John Green book. So John Green wrote The Fault in Our Stars. That's a movie. Have you seen it?
Is that the one about the Holocaust?
No.
Okay, I'm completely off. I'm completely off.
It's like a love story.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Of like these 2 kids. Anyway, he
That's
also
close.
wrote Looking for Alaska. That's a great book.
Yeah.
You've heard of that one?
Mm-hmm.
Abundance of Catherines. I haven't read that one yet, but it's on my list. Anyway, he writes young adult novels. So I've been reading young adult novels lately. And this book is, it follows the story of this girl named Aza. And she is,
Cool name.
I know, right?
It's not like Asia. I met a few Asias, but Aza.
A-Z-A.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. She has this best friend Daisy, and Daisy is like the complete opposite of her. She's like really outgoing and whatnot, and Aza is really quiet and reserved. She struggles with anxiety and OCD. So the overarching theme of the book is like, there's this billionaire that's gone missing, and Daisy's like, let's find this dude because there's a reward. But the underlying plot is Aza like working through her anxiety and OCD and like kind of figuring out things that work for her. And I think it's a cool book.
Have you picked up any actual tools from it to deal with, you know, I think we're all little victims of like anxiety and nervousness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you picked up any applicable tools from it?
I don't know. She like towards the end of the book, she tries to like talk out her feelings a little bit more with her friends, and she kind of tells them what she's going through, which I think is really
super important,
applicable for sure. Yeah, it's a good book.
Very cool. So what is
It's
the
touching.
Yeah, good. Where does the Turtles All the Way Down
Turtles All the Way
come
Down.
from?
Yeah, so I thought it was
Saying.
just a silly, like, I was like, oh, what a cute title.
Mm-hmm.
But, so in the book, Aza talks about, like, when she's having an anxiety attack or whatever, she feels like she's just spiraling down. And then, apparently, I don't know if this is a true story, but there was, like, someone who, or maybe a group of people who thought that the Earth was on the back of a turtle shell, and then they just thought it was turtles all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when I look that up. I was like, oh, yeah.
So,
but you can kind of see how that would, like,
be pretty realistic.
Be realistic with her anxiety. She just feels like just turtles all the way down.
Yeah, okay. I totally thought you were gonna like talk about like the flat Earth conspiracy type
I
thing.
think maybe that's where it comes from. They think the Earth is flat and it's like on a turtle. Please don't get me started.
No.
The flat Earth.
We won't go into that rabbit hole. I understand the panic attacks though. Like that's something personally, you know, I've definitely had affecting me a lot to the point where the spiraling effect is something I haven't heard on it.
Really?
But it's actually like very, very descriptive of it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's
it
almost,
just gives you a new perspective, I think.
It's almost until you get. I found like you have to take action, and it doesn't really matter like what kind of action it is. You know what I mean? Oftentimes for me, it's like being in my car and just sitting there and
chilling.
not doing anything, even though I know I should do a bunch of stuff. So. Probably with her, I actually don't know, but even
you should read it.
I should.
It's a good book.
I should. Even the talking, you know what I mean? Like that's the action that she probably needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The way that he writes it too, like there's some chapters where you kind of feel anxious because it's like she's talking to her anxiety, and her anxiety is like talking to her.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
like they do like a dual complex.
Yeah,
there?
it's an interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
It's interesting because I don't really struggle with like OCD or anxiety too much, but I think reading in general has given me like new perspectives.
100%.
Sure.
That's the tool to keep yourself sharp in life. If you're not reading, I spoke to this middle school class yesterday, and I told them like if you're not learning, you're losing. You know, in this world, like you're totally gonna be left behind. You know, you look at some of the people who maybe you grew up with, or maybe who are around the same area as you, and they're not doing something in a way to benefit themselves education-wise or mentally, you know, in same spot, you know what I mean? Where like, you know, you can see obviously you've grown tremendously, you know what I mean? And I assume reading and knowledge and college has been a very, very big part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's Game of Thrones was another one.
Game of Thrones, yeah. So I, of course, have seen Game of Thrones. Have you?
No.
Oh my gosh. You need to
I know, you can yell
get
at
that
me,
free
get all mad if you
7-day
want.
HBO trial and just binge it.
7-day
It's
trial?
so good.
I do like free, okay.
It's so good. You can watch a season in a day.
Okay.
I think that would probably work out. There's like 8 episodes a season or something. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But anyway, the book is awesome. So I've never really read a fantasy style, like a book that's set in another world besides Harry Potter. I've never read like Lord of the Rings or anything.
And you're absolutely in love with Harry Potter, right?
I love Harry Potter. Yeah, but Game of Thrones is good. The writing is really descriptive, so like some sentences are like a page long, like 7 pages, but it's a great book, and you just learn a lot more about the characters and plot development through reading the book. Is it
comparable to Lord of the Rings? Because like I've ravished through that.
I have not read Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Okay, I'm like giving you the stink eye behind the glasses.
Yeah.
Right now, if you can't tell.
Yeah, I'll try to read that one this year.
That one, it's very, very long. Because let's talk about that a little bit. You're trying to go with
52 books.
52 books. So what spurred that? What made you want to go ahead and
I have picked up many books over the last few years, but since I've graduated high school, I don't think I've finished a whole book. So I'm like the type of person that's like go big or go home. So I figured 52 books, 1 book a week. It's a pretty big
How's your
goal.
progress on that?
Good. I'm actually ahead. I think I'm on my 10th book.
Give me some knuckles
This
right
is the
there.
8th week. Is this the 8th week? This might be the 9th week of the year.
Yes, it's the end of February, so it's about the 8th,
Yeah, but I'm on my 10th book, so.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Been working.
And then the last one that you talked about a little bit was Girl Up. So obviously, I mean, like girl power and everything like that's very, very close to you. What speaks to you the most about this book?
So this book talks a lot about the power of like femininity, but also kind of speaks to like what girls go throughout growing up.
What would you say the biggest things are growing up, if you don't mind me interrupting right there?
Oh, I think the biggest takeaway is, well, it talks a lot about a lot of things about being a girl, but one of the most important things I think from that book was allowing yourself to be unapologetically who you are and like not worry about having an opinion or expressing yourself just because you're a girl, you know? Does that make sense?
No, it totally does.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing that you feel is the struggles, I guess, growing up, kind of the expressing yourself and being a little bit more strong in your personality?
Yeah, the book also talks kind of about like sexuality and like how girls are taught to kind of suppress that as well.
Yeah, very much so.
But this book is like, own it, girl. So yeah, that's a cool part.
So besides limes, that's a terrible transition actually, but going back to Girl Up.
Okay.
What about that book like spoke to you the most?
I think what we just talked about. I'd say
strong personality.
Strong personality, like owning who you are, and owning your sexuality. Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
So with that transition, this would be a little bit of a better one than trying to use a line into this book.
You don't want to do a line?
What would be the advice you would give to girls with your own experience in mind, first entering the gym, first taking that big step to actually care about their health, care about their fitness?
Yeah, so I'd say probably a good majority of girls tell me that they're like a little bit scared to get in the gym, which makes sense because it's a lot of dudes in there. But I would say you just gotta do it.
Just do it, like hashtag Nike.
Hashtag Nike. Just do it. Yeah, I think if you get someone to help you out at first, like Patrick.
Yes, like a coach. A coach is very beneficial. Well,
then
even
it's easier.
You had CrossFit to help you out. Did you have a coach at all in that?
I did, yeah. So when you do CrossFit classes, you have like 1 or 2 coaches that are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had coaches that taught me how to squat, deadlift, like we talked about earlier, clean and jerk, use kettlebells, all that kind of stuff. So
you know something that's huge that I was looking into? The average like training lifespan of a guy who signs up for personal training or like gets like a program or something online, like pays for coaching services, is 2 years in their lifting experience. The average for a girl is 2 weeks.
They get someone?
Yes, they get help. I think it's because we have huge egos as guys.
Yeah, I would
you know
say
what I mean?
so.
We don't want help.
Yeah, dudes should probably get them a little sooner.
Yes, we should. Like when I say we don't want help, I'm trying to say like guys, we need the help. We just have too much of an ego. You know, you gotta take a lesson from the girls and actually reach out there.
It's helpful for sure, because even now, like I started just specifically training Olympic weightlifting like maybe a year ago, but I didn't have a coach until October, so I was just kind of like doing it by myself, but I didn't have somebody to correct my mistakes or whatever, so I would just kind of keep making the same mistakes and maybe injuring myself.
What was your biggest flaw in your form, like for specific exercise that you, like it blew your mind when you got a coach and they were like, oh, I'm doing that bad?
Yeah, there was actually a lot of little things. So in the clean, it's the bar on the ground, you lift it to your shoulders overhead. So when you pull from the floor, when I would jump, I would kick my feet out like a horse, and then I saw it on video, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah. Wait,
like a horse, like prancing, like kind of like throwing them up?
Yeah, like if these are my feet, I would pull the bar in like that.
Wait, so you're not supposed to do that? Because that's what I do.
You're not supposed to kick your feet backwards. You're supposed to go up.
Okay, describe that further.
When you jump, you should try to jump as vertical as possible, so the transfer of energy to the bar is like going up instead of out, so you'll have more time to catch the bar if you jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep my athletes like for a vertical jump, like when I'm teaching it, I'll piece it apart and have them just jump with the bar and kind of do the shrug up. You know, almost like it's not a high pull yet. It's just a shrug and a jump, but totally thinking of my own technique. I horse it out.
Just like little tweaks that you would never think about. But weightlifting is such a technical sport, so you can be strong and have like really weak numbers because you don't have the technique.
Yeah. 100%. What's your favorite lift?
Clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk. Why is that?
Well, I think I'm better at it than snatching. So I should probably like snatching a little bit more, but it's just fun.
You gotta like
really
what you're good at too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's nothing more fun, in my opinion, than putting something overhead.
It's
you know
exciting.
what I mean? Like it's just like
it's exhilarating.
Exactly. I think it's like caveman, just like if I can use your backpack, like pretending this is a log and just like just like throwing it up and like being very primal with it, and just I think that's why I like deadlifts too.
I love deadlifts.
Yeah, because they're both like two very simplistic movements that I can totally imagine like caveman Patrick doing in the wild, like
Caveman
throwing something
Patrick.
overhead.
Cute.
Yeah. That's my great grandpa.
Yeah.
That's his actual name.
It's probably Caveman Patricking.
A little bit. Have you ever seen SpongeBob? You know, like when they go back in time?
Yeah, he has like the little loincloth and he's like, whoo.
Yeah, that's my grandpa. We have a picture of him in my house.
Aww.
It's very, very cool.
I love SpongeBob.
So clean and jerk's your absolute favorite, but...
I do like squatting too, but I haven't been able to squat for...
Explain that a little bit more. What happened there?
I'm not sure what happened. I think it was a combination of things, so I think... I haven't been to a doctor, because I don't think that they can do much for me, truthfully. But I think...
resonate with that.
Yeah, they'll just be like, rest it. And I'll be like, no. So, yeah, I'll pay them for nothing. But I think I tore my hip flexor, which is a bummer. So, I basically just haven't been doing anything that aggravates my hip flexor, which for me is only the ascension from the bottom of a squat. So, yeah.
I feel that. I mean, I reached out to you about my hip flexor hurting as well, too. Like,
it's the worst.
coming out of the squat.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah, I'll even be showing like PVC squats to my clients
I want
and hurting.
to cry because I'm used to having like so much power that I can generate from my hip, and there's like nothing there. I get to the bottom and I'm like, oh.
I know your legs feel strong, your butt feels strong, but like your hip flexors, you come up like an inch and it all goes to it.
It feels like it's not even there.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Have you tried any like supple leopard techniques out of it, or for it?
No, not really. My mom's a massage therapist, so I have had her dig into it. So the psoas, which I think is probably the muscle that's messed up or something, I don't know. Oh.
What's
going on
there?
What happened there? What did that say?
Storage is almost full, but we'll just ignore that there for a second.
That's okay. Yeah.
I had and you mentioned chiropractic work would help you out a little bit. That's what when I had really torn mine in the past, like. Basically, I was screwed to the point where, like, my hips wouldn't work. Like, I'd try squatting, I'd try deadlifting. I couldn't do anything involving a hip hinge. And this lasted for, like, and, like, you know, obviously there's, like, the, you know, you don't train legs type stereotype. And as a guy, I feel like you're almost pressured not to live up to that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you just want to have that even proportion. You don't want to be that typical gym douchebag, you know.
You don't want to look like a Dorito.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Dorito.
upside down Dorito.
Good way to describe it. Exactly. So it's, you know, you're hitting the upper body every day. Number one, that screws up with your recovery. And number two, it's just fun to squat and deadlift.
It is fun.
It messes with your injuries in general. Just mess with your psyche a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you had any major ones besides your hip?
I tore a hamstring in high school.
Hamstring?
I don't really remember it. I wasn't lifting then, so it was just like.
Did you black out from the trauma?
Yeah.
Or was it just really
tore it and I was like, shooketh. People don't say that anymore, I don't think.
No. I think that's like a 1500.
I'm gonna hold on to that. Shooketh.
Speak your personality. You know what I mean? You got a girl up there.
That's my truth. Okay.
Favorite workout? Like if you could go back to a specific workout that if you don't have a training journal there, you don't have a coach there, like this is just your fallback. You do this one anytime you're in need.
Okay, so anytime I can't go to my weightlifting like time, there's like a time slot that I train at. I'll go to a conventional gym and I usually deadlift.
Just deadlift?
Yeah, I'll start with deadlifts and then usually this is the workout I do every time.
No, that's why I asked that. I want to know, like, because
I'm now realizing,
you got to have your bread and butter.
When I get in there, my favorite things to do are deadlift. I like to push press or overhead press and barbell row.
Ah, just those three?
Those three are my go-to, and then maybe I'll do some accessorizing if I have time. I really like Bulgarian split squats.
Fantastic movement.
Fantastic movement. Gets your butt lit up. Lunges, of course. I like kettlebell swings.
That's one I haven't been using as much as I used to. Like when I trained for boxing, I used to use kettlebell swings a lot. But
you can do so much with a kettlebell.
I feel the deadlift.
That would be like my one piece of equipment to have at home. Actually, that's the only piece of equipment I have at home right now. My mom
have a squat rack,
My mom has my squat rack, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got an office space, so I was like, take it.
So how much did you invest into that kettlebell, and how much do you think it's like saved you in stress in your life?
Got it for Christmas from my old roommates.
Okay.
Best Christmas present
Shouts out
ever.
to them.
Yeah, I think you can get them on Amazon for like $30.
Okay. Yeah, I've got like a 35-pound one for like I think like $37. And I could say like
it's
under
like $1 a pound or something.
yeah, for like an investment like under $50,
Mm-hmm.
that's been one of the best things I could use because I've trained clients with it. You know, I've taken it on different trips. I personally don't use it as much anymore now, but like that, like you said, that's universal.
I definitely take it like if I go for a weekend like at my mom's house or something and she doesn't have anything. She does, but let's say she didn't. I would take my kettlebell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's see what the we'll hit a few more questions here because the phone's gonna die here pretty soon. What would you say? This is a good question actually. I was very proud of myself when I developed this one. What is your favorite impact you've had in your life?
That someone's impacted me?
No, that you've impacted someone else with.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I've really impacted a bunch of people. Maybe I have.
What about like an individual?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, take a second to think about it if you need to.
Let me take a second. There have been a few girls who will like message me. It's hard because I don't really interact with a bunch of people throughout the day. Like I'm kind of a introvert, if you will. But like I've made a few programs for ladies on the interweb, and a few have messaged me and they will send me like pictures of their progress, and I literally cry.
It's such an amazing feeling.
I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, it's great. So I would say that's one of my favorite impacts.
That's an absolutely amazing one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I know before I started coaching on lines of that like transformation, like this guy who I had never even met until like I saw him where he worked. I was like going through the store there, and he messaged me on Twitter like 2 years ago. He's like, what can I do to lose weight? And I just recommended intermittent fasting to him. And like just very general, I'm like, try out intermittent fasting. Go Google it on YouTube for a little bit more specific info, but that's helped me out a lot. And then like a year later, he was like, dude, I've lost like 30, 40 pounds.
That's
like
awesome.
Just off of that like simple DM that you sent me. Like that started the spiral and
that's
just the
cool.
butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect.
Classic movie, honestly.
Classic. That's a scary one.
I know. I didn't really like it as a kid, honestly.
No. I had nightmares about that, I'm pretty sure. I still hate butterflies.
They're pretty though.
I think that's mostly due to the SpongeBob episode with Sandy goes away and they're babysitting the...
Is it bad if I don't know if I've seen that one?
Really? I don't know what is it called before it's a butterfly. A caterpillar.
Oh, not a jellyfish.
Yeah, the caterpillar turns into a butterfly and SpongeBob and Patrick are like, ah. Yeah.
Nope, haven't seen it.
Okay, well I hate butterflies because of that.
Is your 8-week program, I'm totally going back to that, is that still available? Because I know you put that out and that was specifically for women. Like give a little bit more info on that.
Yeah, like dudes could do it too, for sure. But I think ladies, you know.
That's your primary market.
That's my primary. I'm a lady.
Yeah.
You know, I identify as a woman, so.
It is 2018. You gotta make sure.
Yeah, it's not in. I don't know if there's a link anywhere for it, but I still have it. I could send it to someone if they wanted it.
Yeah, if anyone wants an 8-week program specifically for the women, but the guys can join on into it too.
You can totally do it.
Hit her up or hit me up, and I'll make sure to get it from her. It's a great program. I actually looked it over. It was like a 2 upper, 2 lower.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've made a few.
You should have those you still have them up, I assume, you know what I mean? But you don't necessarily have to have the link in your bio, you know what I mean, 24/7. But even on that, like, what would you say training differentials? And, you know, this could be a double-sided question. It could go either way. For, as a girl, what do you think your training looks like compared to, say, myself as a guy?
Well, we did talk about women in general can handle more volume than the men.
Much more volume.
So that's one thing that benefits ladies if you wanted to do higher volume training, but there's really not that many differences.
For the higher volume, what have you noticed like really works well for you? Like lots of volume with a heavier weight, or like are you speaking like 5 sets of 20? You know, like volume like in that sense. Go a little bit more in depth if you don't mind.
Right. I personally never do reps over like 6.
I can't count past that, so I don't blame you.
I can't count past 6. Unless I'm doing accessories, then I'll do like a 4x10. But yeah, I would say I would add more sets to increase my volume personally.
Okay.
Like instead of like maybe a dude would do 6x3, I'll do 8x3 or something like that. That's how I would do it.
Okay, I like that. I've noticed, especially with my women too, on like my women that I coach, that I'll see it like rep 5 or so, it's especially obvious with dumbbells, not as much barbells, because I feel like there's a higher exponential growth with a barbell. You know what I mean? Like 90 pounds.
You can just slap the weight on.
Yeah, 90 pounds would be
with
fairly similar to like 100. You know what I mean? But with like dumbbells, you make a jump from 35 to 40. It's huge. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It's just like you're positioning it weird usually, and
seems to be in presses more often than not. That seems to be the common one.
Yeah.
But with my girls, like we'll hit like rep 5, really, really shaky. 6, 7, 8, look fucking fire. Like, like it's just like and then we try to bump it up, 5 pounds, and they won't be able to do it for like 1 or 2 reps. Kind of like what we spoke on a little bit, how like a 90% of your 1 rep max for women can be repped out like crazy compared to a guy that's like 1 or 2 reps. So you really have a much higher capability.
My 90% for like 7.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
See, that's insane. Like if I okay, what lift are you talking about though? What lift?
Squats, deadlifts.
Deadlifts? Really?
Yeah. And then I'll like slap 20 more pounds on, and I can only do 1 rep.
Mm-hmm.
What? How does this doesn't make any sense?
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end this one right over here, because I'm gonna ask a good question that you're gonna have to watch the video for now. So, a big part we kind of talked about lifting and having hormones affected as a girl. As a guy, I'll completely say that I draw a blank on this subject. My hormones don't really affect my workouts as much. But as a girl, obviously with menstruation, there's gonna be different effects monthly. Even birth control. I've had like a lot of my women talk about birth control who I coach affecting them. What have your experiences been? Lifting, injuries, fat loss, strength.
For me personally, I guess I would say if I'm about to start my menstrual cycle, I typically feel weaker like the few days prior, and then like maybe a day or 2 after, and it's probably due to that hormonal change. But leading up to that, sometimes I'll do like a deload week if I'm programming for myself. So I will purposely do a deload when I know that I'm gonna start my period.
Wow.
So a deload is basically I think your battery.
It's getting close. We're at 16 minutes, so we'll probably go for like 3 more minutes or so.
So yeah, a deload is basically you do like the same programming as what I'll usually do, but you'll lower your weight. So yeah, you can add that in if you're on a strength cycle and you're going to have your period. That way it doesn't mess you up. And psychologically, if you're trying to hit a PR and you're going to feel weaker, kind of.
That's very insightful, honestly.
Yeah.
Like something, I guess I don't go around asking every girl that I train, what's your cycle looking like right now? Like keep me updated on this.
But if you have a coach, that might be something that's useful.
I brought it up with a few clients, but I it's not something that. Wow, that's really good information, actually. That's me as like a coach, actually, like that's a great idea, like a fantastic idea.
Yeah, you don't have to like not be in the gym, but don't get discouraged if you're not like hitting your 90 or something.
Yeah. Do you so when you say deload week, like when I do a deload week, I'll do like basically 3 sets of 5 of all my main lifts at like 70 or 80%.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Okay, you don't work with like your 90 or anything for like just less sets, like a 3x2 instead of a 8x3.
I mean, sometimes if I'm feeling frisky,
okay,
I might try it. But usually if I'm doing a true deload, I will definitely lower it down to 70 or 80. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very, very good information.
Yeah.
That's covered a lot of what I want to cover. Is there anything, if you could impart with the beautiful people here watching this, if you could leave a message, whether it be with the guys, whether it be with the girls, just everyone, what would it be?
I would say, well,
speak it to them.
You're right. Speak it to you. I would say my main mission is to get all women everywhere touching a barbell. So that's what I would love for you to do.
That's powerful.
Yeah. I think it's really empowering for women, especially to strength train and get jacked.
I love it. I love that. So if any girls are watching this, could they reach out to you personally and ask for advice?
Sure. Yeah, my DMs are always open.
Yep, and that's Instagram.
I sometimes take a while to reply, but
I think anyone
the
busy
DMs are a scary place sometimes.
Would you say it's a scary place for like girl-to-girl help interactions, or just like?
No, I mean like dudes coming in my DMs.
Yeah.
I often don't check because I don't want to see
Yeah.
what's in there.
I got a lot of dudes in my DMs. I totally
Do you?
understand.
Yeah,
No,
for
not
sure.
really.
No. But yeah, Instagram is perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, and your Instagram at
Dumbledore,
big
Harry
Harry Potter
Potter.
fanatic because George Binks was
George
taken.
Binks was taken.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah,
That's
I
sad.
had an old coach that used to call me George Binks. So.
Do you are you active much on like Facebook or anything else to where they could reach out to you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Facebook. I don't check Facebook as often.
What about your blog?
Oh, my blog.
Let's give that a shout out right
That
now.
one I think is joryfitness.wordpress.com.
There we go. Awesome. Check that out if you want some very good information. I've personally looked at it. Lots of good articles on there as well too. Take care, guys. Thank you very much for being on here.
Thank you, Patrick.